All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Hitman Questionnaire once again. Today, as usual, I'm going to be your host, so Hitman, and we have the teams from Phoenix blockchain in the presence of Spazz and Hyperion. So they'll be running on through a lot of packages for us with regards to this awesome project. So let's give it over to them for the introduction. Let's get it going immediately. So Spazz and Hyperion, you wouldn't mind introducing yourself to us? Kind of tell us how you started into space, when you conceived this particular awesome idea, and probably the team depth, and get us going with the package you brought to us. Let's see.
Sure. Good morning, Metaverse. My name is Spazz and Hyperion. I'm here. I'm the coordinator for Phoenix Blockchain, also the host of our weekly show, We Burn, We Rise. I've been in crypto for about 2 years now, and all the way from starting in DGen groups and now the coordinator for the next big up-and-coming blockchain.
And just like Spazz, starting and always in DGen groups since 2017 for me. I started around the time of Ravencoin's inception, 2017, kind of late 2017. Been around since then. I came from the GRT side because there are two tokens that originally came together to help form the Phoenix blockchain, and that was CPHX and GRT. Spazz is whichever way you have him, up or down. He's from CPHX, Crypto Phoenix side. That was an Ethereum token, and then GRT, Golden Ratio token. That was also an Ethereum token, and we came together to create a blockchain because Ethereum gas fees were killing our project. As I'm sure you've heard that story over and over and over again. How can you make something work when your trade or just getting into the project is $100 just for the transaction fee? Just to start, it was just disappointing. And we came together and created this blockchain, which is an EVM-based blockchain. So if you have an Ethereum wallet, that address also works on our chain. You just have to add our chain in MetaMask in order to see it. But yeah, so it's been around since 2017, always a DGen, not financial advice.
Awesome. All right. I kind of get you saying things about you get into projects on Ethereum already. Well, I don't really know. Maybe you'll be getting towards that aspect. We'll be introducing those projects properly. But here we'll be focusing our attention at this earlier stage as the Phoenix blockchain itself. All right. So now you told us about you both. Is it just two of you in the team, or others who are missing at this point?
Well, so Hypers is in charge of our socials. I do some group coordination, but yet we've got, I'd say, about 12 core people that are the real main driving force. We've also got about 60 developers that we know through partnerships that help us out with some various aspects that we'll get into later. So yeah, the group is massive. We've got almost 4,000 holders, and a good chunk of those are often helping out, whether it's just through the socials, helping us disseminate information so that if we're asleep and somebody asks a question that gets answered it instantly. Yeah, so we're the big. I joke that Hypers and I are the big mouths, but the big brains are sometimes you can see them on our weekly show.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious everywhere, isn't it? And I can feel excitement as well.
There's also about, in the Telegram group alone, I think we have like 15 moderator admins, something like that, just the Telegram group. So yeah, just like Spazz said, it has been a community effort since inception. We don't have any funds that we get paid. It's all volunteer based. Anyone that comes into the community, it's basically the same thing, right? We're working together to bring this blockchain up together. Yeah, it's been a community effort, so.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, one of the reasons why I really wanted to know your team depth is, kind of to know how you really get paid, because most times I think finance is mainly one of the reasons why project fails, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, especially then you have a funding round, and then you didn't do the right thing with the funding, and then it's like, what happens next? You've already stated a price in your ICO, your IPO, and now whoopsie, yeah, we didn't want to deal with that. So
Awesome. I love that. All right. Let's get over to your fundraising. If you've really done any form of fundraising till now with regards to Phoenix blockchain project as it stands now.
So no, we did not have any marketing fundraising. We had an internal round between some of the core group where we just asked for resources between all of us to pay for servers, for domains, and things like that. But there hasn't been any public IPOs, ICOs, no extra offerings or anything, or shares or anything like that. But yeah, we've been from inception, not funded. Haven't funded yet. I don't think we probably won't because there's legality behind that, and we do have a foundation set in the Netherlands, and we have a couple other companies that have been already registered there as well. And we plan to branch out even more companies because all of these behind me are separate individual projects of the Phoenix blockchain. Like the FireSwap is our DEX, FireC is our NFT marketplace that we're working on, FireSwag is our merch store. All of those have to be individually incorporated. So we do want to branch out in more companies, but there hasn't been any funding. We're not interested in funding. We know what happens with that, so probably won't do that. But
yeah, it's clear. I really understand it. But now I think some other questions I really wanted to ask you, I'll be keeping it aside. Let's really dive into this Phoenix blockchain. Let really understand how these things work, how you're bringing all these fragments together in one piece and then make it functional, up to the extent of really bringing this big dream you've got, this awesome concept to reality. Let's see.
So I guess I'll start just really quickly ranting stuff off, because that's what I do. Phoenix blockchain, as I mentioned, is an EVM-based blockchain. So what that means is we took Ethereum, we looked at their fees and what they partition off to the miners and said, well, how do we get around that? How do we make transactions more desirable for something like a metaverse, right? When you go into the metaverse, how do you equip and de-equip something without getting destroyed on fees? Okay, well, maybe we can set a standard one GUI gas fee to always have a very minimal amount of Phoenix that needs to be used for any transactions. And that's where we started. We started with 0.000021 Phoenix for every transaction, which was fractions and fractions and fractions and fractions of a penny. And we are constantly looking at that. Even if the price goes up, we still have it in our minds to try to keep it at fractions of a penny, because that's what we would like to be. We'd like to be that.
Yeah, no, so what he's saying is that, so by having these gas fees be low, we're sort of the ultimate blockchain for people that want to build games, right? That really want to build things. For example, the analogy I use is you've seen games where you might have like a car and then you upgrade the wheels, upgrade the steering, upgrade everything. But with an Ethereum gas fee or even a Binance transaction fee, like that would rack up and be cost prohibitive. So we really want Phoenix blockchain to be for everyone. And so that's why we came up with this idea, have it be locked, a one-way gas fee. It's like 1/10,000th of a cent or something like that. Another thing that makes us unique is that a lot of these fees going up is miners trying to maximize their profit, which is understandable. The way that we do mining is slightly different. So if someone rents a server at a data center and then lets us use it, that's how you get mining privileges. So the investor in this case gets mining directly to them. We get a node that we can use to make our transaction fee really fast. And through that, we've got, I want to say like maybe nearly 200 servers that are powering the blockchain, the ledger, all of the assets. So that has been, that's something I've never seen done before. And so that's how we keep our transaction fee low. Apparently, special guest Mizu wants to join today.
Yeah, he's really welcomed. Okay, all right. Let's see. You really talked a lot about how you're going to make this happen, bringing in, I think, low gas fees. Question understandable. And some other projects, some other blockchains like Solana actually offering zero gas fee entirely. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So
but
so you're really Okay, go ahead.
Again, so there are Solana is probably like our biggest competitor is what I would say, because they're doing similar with the way their gas fee works. However, by having zero gas fee as opposed to like 1/10,000th of a cent or something, it makes gas estimation impossible. So launching a launch pair on Solana is really difficult. By having a super low gas fee, people that want to bridge are going to be able to bridge super easily. It'll be seamless. Also, because of the way that mining works on Solana, they've had outages, 6 times in the last year? We've never had an outage. We've been up for a year now, never a single outage. So it's the combination of the low gas fee and the way that we conduct our mining operation is, I think that's what's going to take this thing to the next level.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, you're right when you said something about Solana having some kind of outages last year. Yeah, I really was one of the individuals that actually read some kind of articles regards to that. Okay, you saying you've been up since last year. This means this blockchain is already running, or is it is up and running now?
Yep, it's been up and running for a year, and in that year, we've built our decentralized exchange. We've got listed on 2 centralized exchanges, and again, these things take time because all of our developers are doing this doing this on the side. So I've sent you the links. We've got our block explorer. It's looking good, looking clean. Our DEX is done. Fire tools is how you can see the charts. That's like pre-alpha. That's barely functional at the moment, but that's sort of our next thing. And governance. Our governance protocol will be completed by the end of the year.
Okay, so right now the work you have at hand is your Fire tool, because as it stands now, I'm only seeing the interface just open and there is nothing displaying there outside some kind of hashtag tokens like number 1, 2, 3 to 10 from the token side, and the search box is open. When you tap on the 3 button at the head at end right hand end of it, which is the menu, you're not really seeing anything, isn't it? So it means it's still at work, isn't it?
Yes, this is, again, now it's still usable if you go into PhoenixPhire, the block explorer, and you copy paste a token address into Fire tools, it will populate a chart. But that is of all of our assets, that's the one that is the least functional. The DEX is clean, the explorer is clean. I'm probably forgetting something, but yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on, and yeah, every day we have our lead dev and our senior dev are constantly upgrading. Oh, I forgot our NFT staking. That's the other one that is very, very good. I'm going to send that over to you.
Okay.
Now this one's cool. So you can purchase NFTs, you can earn NFTs through the airdrop bot, and you can also play our Telegram game to get these NFTs, which you can stake through diamondapps.com.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
can you unmute Hypers? He's back with us.
Oh, definitely I can. Where's him? I can't even see his hand up. Hyperion. Yeah, he is. Allow to speak.
Hypers missed my cat coming out of the camera, so that's a bummer.
We'll have to welcome him back again.
Sorry about that. My internet went down. Someone rugged me. Why did they rug me?
I told him, just a recap, Hypers. I told him about the way our staking works, or I told him about the staking. I told him about the way our mining operations work, which helps keep our transaction fees fast, which is why we're gonna blow Solana out of the water.
And I'm sure he mentioned it, but it's a closed system, and yeah, we're gonna blow stuff out of the water, right?
Yeah, get it. Okay. We've been talking about, like, we're actually trying to move from one product to another product. Okay, we are still at what is it called? Your Fire swap. All right, so let's actually digest the Fire swap. Then we can actually get over to your Fire swag, or maybe the marketplace itself. Okay, now tell us, how is your Fire swap, what are we really expecting from your file swap? How is it working? What was the benefit with regards to the Phoenix? And why do you think is one of the best choices out there? Because I can actually tell there are a lot of swaps out there, isn't it?
There's a lot of swaps out there for sure. The market's saturated. The Fire swap for us is it's specific to our chain, meaning all tokens that are on Phoenix blockchain. You'll be able to add there. It's like a Uniswap for Phoenix, basically. And it was created by one of our lead devs, which is Robin RXBBN. He has done, if Spazz already talked about Fire Tools, I heard. So he has done a lot of contributions for the main items. And Fire Swap is one of his creations. So it's a non-custodial, it's a DEX. So you would connect your MetaMask and you would do the transaction for Phoenix and Diamond, for instance. Diamond is a reward that you get from staking NFTs. There's Sapphire, Emerald, Ruby. All those are separate little rewards from our Diamond apps, which is the staking platform that we released, another creation. But very straightforward, just like any DEX. There's minimal fees. As soon as you disconnect your wallet, there's no interactions anymore between the wallet and the DEX, and we don't hold any funds or anything like that. It's just a person-to-person kind of transaction with liquidity pools. There's ways to create liquidity pools on there, and there's a couple things that we're planning for it that will come with the future updates. And speaking of liquidity pools, since I'm scatterbrained all the time anyway, we have a liquidity locker that was created by one of the community developers. We had a dev bounty, which we'll probably have another dev bounty coming up soon. But during the dev bounty team, CFG Ninja created a liquidity locker for projects for free. So it is a free thing that you can do if you decide that you're a developer that wants to deploy a project, if you're an NFT collector or NFT project holder, creator thing. You can lock your liquidity to show the strength to your community, which is always a big plus. And there's no fee associated with it, which is great. So yeah, our DEX works in tandem across all of our projects.
Yes, so to fill in what he was saying, so a lot of lockers, right? If you want to lock your LP to prove that you're doing something valuable, there's a really big fee. Again, depending on which locker you use, the fee can vary, but we thought it was sort of a bad mentality to charge people for having integrity. So thankfully, some people within our community built us a token locker that is absolutely free. You can lock it for however many years you want, months you want. So that's going to help a lot, especially with people trying to do small projects, little utility projects, meme tokens, things of that nature. We wanted people to be able to lock easily, quickly, and at no fee. So our buddies at CFG Ninja, to give them a shout out, were able to throw that together for us.
Awesome. Okay, now we are talking about you first and foremost with transactions and your blockchain is approximately free of charge. I said approximately because you're actually dealing with fragments of penny and not just some huge fragments of penny. It's really a very minute fragment of penny. Here, your swap is also free of charge. All right, I'm getting over to the swap again, still trying to digest the swap properly. So this swap, what tokens are we really being able to swap? Is it going to be some meme coins or the top tier projects out there, the ones that can freely call coin?
Yeah, so we've already got about a half dozen partners that as soon as our bridges are done, which is our main thing we're focusing on after our governance, is getting those bridges up and running. We've got a few people that are going to be launching their ETH project and bridging it over to us. There's a few BSC ones that are bridging to us as well. But for the meantime, in FireSwag, it's only projects that are exclusively on Phoenix that are on there. Everything from meme tokens, you see there's some silly ones in there, all the way to like CFG Ninja. Our auditing team has a token on there. Our reward tokens are on there. Another thing that sets us apart is that you can import any token on the Phoenix network to swap. But we're in charge of which ones get to be listed in the dropdown. So that gives us, it's sort of it gives us a bit of control where if somebody's notorious for launching crappy projects, we're not going to let them be in the dropdown. We get to do we have an auditing team. If the project is safe, then it can go in the dropdown. If we met you, if you're talking to us, if you've explained a proper roadmap, a proper website, things like that, then we determine what gets to be in the dropdown menu.
Gotcha. All right, get it. Okay, now let's head over to your Fire Swag. I think that's your merchandise store, right?
That's correct. And now, again, governance. So we're currently redoing the website because it's cryptophoenix.org right now, but we're moving it to phoenixblockchain.org. So we're doing that. Governance is next. After that is our bridges, and then FireC, our NFT marketplace. So Fire Swag is quite far down the line. It's definitely like a B tier task. However, once we do that, what we're going to provide is sort of an all-in-one thing for tokens and NFT projects that want to do some swag, some real life stuff. In the past, people have tried to set up a Redbubble. The quality is dodgy. They don't get any percentage of the swag they sell. We're correcting this with Fire Swag. So if you have an NFT project that's on our blockchain, you get in touch with us. We're sorting out the warehouse situation as well. So that will allow you to purchase swag with crypto for your token or NFT project on our blockchain.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, let's go away. Okay, so let's say, thank you. Let's say I need to kind of purchase. What exactly am I purchasing for this year merch store? Like, are we really talking about? You said swag. So, is this really going to be a kind of shop for me to actually purchase I think they will be more valid if we're actually bringing up the marketplace right now, because I read something through like that on the marketplace with regards to NFTs. So is this really going to be the shop where I can actually purchase those artists that might get their NFTs on your marketplace? So say they get me some kind of articles they are selling. This your swag shop, their actual place they will be tabulating it or sharing it for people to actually grab it. Is it? Am I really on the right track?
Yeah. So, for example, say you launch, Hitman NFTs or something, and they're really cool, and everyone in your community says, "Oh, I want a T-shirt. I want it on a T-shirt." Well, you'd be able to, drop me a DM. Okay, we'll get the graphics lined up so that you can, still inside of the Phoenix ecosystem, you'll be able to sell your hats, your T-shirts, your Hitman gear right there inside of Fire Swag.
Okay.
When Fire Swag.
Get it.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop with the camera. What's happening?
Yeah, you're good. I mean, we're good. Obviously, you're fighting with Telegram.
Yes, I'm. It's the Telegram opens that track us and send our info to Russia.
Can you imagine? Okay, so we are talking about the Fire Swag. I'm trying to understand the actual concept of the swag itself. So I think it's becoming clearer now. Okay, let's say I want to purchase this particular T-shirt at this point in time, and I'm not really. What locations are you offering these services for now? Let's see if you're really global at this point or.
Yeah, again, Fire Swag is our farthest out utility. So we're still, we're still putting together like how you can buy using Bitcoin, how you can buy using BNB, or just using a credit card. But yeah, it's solving a big problem that I've had. For example, when Shiba was blowing up, the quality of swag was so variant because it would be like, somebody copied and pasted the logo into Redbubble. And then the t-shirt, like some of them were poor quality. Some of the hats that when we initially were trying to make swag were really crummy. So we're taking care of all that. We're doing all the sourcing. We're doing all that to have a streamlined, high quality service in that regard.
I get it. I mean, I totally understand it. But what I'm trying to pay more attention right now on is, let's say I need something from your merch store, I really need it from your merchandise store, and the payment model is not a problem. I can actually pay with any coin that I have in hand, so long as it is acceptable in your mesh payment protocol. So the thing is, I am not in maybe the locations where these stuffs can be actually delivered. How am I getting it?
So we had this set up to be like a multiple thing. So we're going to have the goal here, and this is way down the line, but we want to have a warehouse. We want to have a warehouse in I think the goal is to have one in China, one in Brussels, and one in the United States, so that no matter where you are, you can get it shipped to you fairly cheaply and fairly quickly.
That's amazing. I must commend you on that. Awesome. Okay.
We got lucky because we have a partner that happens to be an expert with drop shipping. So we had a lot of the groundwork was already laid for us.
I get it. I mean, partnerships, where you get the right person in your partnerships, I mean, you're kind of very ready to go. And it's speaking volume at this point. All right. Okay. Say I now have somebody that might actually deliver it to me, and it's going to be very cheap. That's awesome. So you'll be having a kind of customer service centers in those places you have headquarters, because I might actually order something, and what I will get might not be exactly what I ordered. I can actually return it, isn't it? So how do I do that?
Yeah, so with these drop shipping companies, they have these return policies sort of already in place. So that won't be something that we have to deal with, but we'll be like paying a fee to outsource that to these companies. Again, they're reputable. They handle the returns fast, so that's not going to be an issue.
Awesome. So that means, are you registered for those services? You said something about you having one warehouse in America, you have one in China, you have one in okay. So are you registered in those countries?
So our foundation, as it stands right now, our foundation is only registered in the Netherlands as a legal entity. The swag stuff, we don't have these warehouses leased yet, but that's the long-term goal. I mean, obviously, we've got a few other things we need to hammer out before we get into the swag, but that is the goal, so that we will, and that we can get licensed. Some of these dropshipping places have like an umbrella style agreements, so that you can operate through them to be like a legal just vendor of clothing in those companies.
Okay, yeah, makes sense now. I mean, it's clearer. I can actually say I got some advice now. Okay, that would be nice. All right, we're going out of your fire swag. There is something I really wanted us to talk about before we get over to your gamifications. Okay, let's talk about this, your crypto Phoenix token and the golden ratio token. So these two are going to serve as your governance token. I don't really know if this DAO is ready now or if it's still at works, but how is this going to work? How have you sorted it out? How are you balancing this?
The two projects that came together to found this blockchain were the two parent projects, Crypto Phoenix and Golden Ratio token. At a certain point, we're going to take a snapshot of all those holders, and then those two tokens will no longer be supported. But what we will do is we will have this governance token, and you will be sent a percentage, so that you're having the same value of our new governance token airdrop to you if you hold either GRT or CPHX. We did this because we wanted to. Our governance token needs to be on our blockchain. We kind of and just having a single governance token is really the way to do it. Our DAO is being coded right now, and we keep taking screenshots of the two existing tokens so that just to make sure that everyone is given the correct value in the governance token. So we're going to be merging the two tokens into one, which is Golden Phoenix. And once that's done, we'll do the airdrops, and the DAO it'll be done by the end of the year at the latest.
If I get you correct, like if I really understand what you say, you're going to be merging Crypto Phoenix token and Golden Ratio token to actually brand it Golden Phoenix.
Yeah, and those are both Ethereum tokens, which will be coming into Phoenix blockchain. So what he's saying is we'll funnel from Ethereum into PhoenixPhire on Phoenix blockchain through GPHX. That's the designated ticker for that. Golden Phoenix is the name, but it might be shifted around. We don't know. We'll see. Because there was so we announced that a month ago, I think, or 2 months ago, that we're going to do Golden Phoenix, and already there's copycats that are throwing that name around on other chains. So we're like, maybe we won't say the name until it's completely deployed, and so that we're not endangering our community with fake tokens. And so yeah, so essentially it's going to be a governance token giving power to the holders that have been around with us. Crypto Phoenix is a little over a year old, I believe, and GRT is a little over 4 years old, and that's giving power to those that held all the way through. There'll be a ratio distribution that's going to be fair so that no one has the ultimate power per se, and then it'll be readily available on our chain. And then once you have that, you'll have the ability to vote on updates or different things that we're going to have for the chain. Because essentially our goal is for the governance to take over everything. We'd like to separate ourselves eventually and make this a complete community-run project, not where we're constantly making the calls for things. We'd like to get out of betas, make everything great, and then each thing is its own separate company, each thing is its own community-run whatever. So that's where the governance token is going to operate best.
I get it. Okay, all right. I mean, that's awesome. Oh, but then let's actually say this way, because I think at this point I'm kind of still not wrapping my head around the entire thing. Okay, this Golden Phoenix, or rather, you don't really know the name for now, and you'll be telling us the name when it is ready, which I understand why, and you already explained why, which is a valid point. I really love the idea. But then, when you get this going, the people that are holding your Phoenix holders and your Golden Ratio holders, are you going to be giving them this Golden Phoenix depending on the prices as per the dollar value of the Crypto Phoenix tokens they were holding and the Golden Ratio token they were holding? You're going to be airdropping them the actual price, dollar equivalent of the Golden Phoenix to actually make up for the ones they are holding, because obviously those ones won't really be valid when you actually get going with your Phoenix blockchain. As for those ones actually on Ethereum, isn't it? So you'll be discarding them totally and replacing it with Golden Phoenix. Am I understanding the entire thing?
From what, yes, that is essentially what we're doing. So again, nobody is going to be losing anything, if that's what you're asking. You're going to be given the equivalent value. It's set up to give you the value in Golden Phoenix, so that nobody's like financially injured during this transition.
Yeah, and obviously it's an airdrop, so we're not taking your tokens. You still keep Golden Ratio. You're still keeping CPHX, and if that's something you want to part with or whatever, that's up to you. So everything on Ethereum is going to stay in your wallet. It's just we're taking the snapshot. Based on that, we're going to have a ratio of, because there are only 16,000 Golden Ratio number, whatever that 16,000. I already forget Golden Ratio tokens, and there are trillions, I think, of CPHX. Is that right? So we've worked out a ratio where it's fair based on percentage, and then you have the amount airdrop to your wallet. Since it's an EVM-based blockchain, we don't have to do anything. It's the same wallet address. And in order for you to see your GPHX, you'll just have to add our chain through MetaMask, which is a custom network.
Okay, but then there will be no liquidity for the people holding those CPHX and the golden ratio anymore once they've been airdropped, right?
Correct. So that's Hypers. If I'm saying to, again, these are more dev questions, but from what I understand, liquidity is going to be transferred. Yeah. So everything should line up perfectly. And again, it's a living thing. So as time goes on, if anyone has any questions or comments, they can reach out and DM, and we'll make sure everybody gets what they're supposed to get.
And it's not something we're going to do just in the middle of the night when no one's paying attention. Whoopsie, it's gone now. People, we've already taken snapshots. We've already let the community know. We're going to let people know before we actually do the airdrop. We're going to give them fair notice. It's not going to be like, oh, we did it. Sorry, guys, you missed out.
No, our voice chat's going to be open. It's all going to happen automatically. So even if somebody doesn't think that they got theirs, we're all going to be in the voice chat, so they can hop on and we can walk them through seeing their new governance token.
Get it. Awesome. And it makes clear sense now. I mean, you really do. All right. We've talked about the Fire swap. We've talked about your Fire swag. We've talked about blockchain itself, and we've not really talked about your NFT marketplace.
Oh yeah,
let's talk about it.
Oh, it's such a doozy. That's the best word, I think. So NFT marketplace. This has been a year. This is almost. I think this is like the basic thing that has driven this project for us. If you want to boil it down, I mean, we started with just a gas estimation bot tracker. We were looking at it before the blockchain. It was just something silly where we had a bot in one of the groups, and then we looked at the things that people are interested in. It's NFTs, but also it's not only NFTs. It's also ownership of your artwork. It's ownership of your music, your videos, all that stuff that people are kind of shifting into. And, you see that in the general marketplace with Spotify and all these companies trying to attend to that. So we are interested in, we're working on, and we're still trying to get the details, because legality, unfortunately, is a big hurdle when you start trying to tackle all this stuff. So we have a product. We aren't finished with it because of a lot of legal work that needs to be still sorted out before we actually release it. But the idea is that if you're an artist, if you're a musician, if you're someone creative that doesn't understand how to be a developer, for instance, or doesn't know if they can trust someone like that, our NFT marketplace would have something called an easy mint function. And easy mint being, you type in your specifics, how many pieces do you want, what are the rarities, what are the differences, or if it's for music, how many exclusive pieces for the music, for instance, and then there will be a mint function on that NFT marketplace that can assist you with that, instead of having to go rely on someone that just DM'd you randomly. Hey, I'll help you create your project, and then there's some backdoor in there or some kind of extra code that pulls the liquidity or pulls the tokens that you want to deploy, and that's just a nightmare. We understand that. We've seen that. I mean, we've been in the industry for a long, and that's basically what FireC has always been in our minds. So until that is perfected, it's not going to be out, and that's why we have a rough estimation of Q1 next year, I think. But that's the goal. Make it easy, make it user-friendly and accessible to everybody. Kind of like, I know OpenSea's there. It's had a lot of problems, but that's, when you think of a marketplace, that's kind of what you want, but better. That's where our goal is we want a better version of OpenSea, better version of Magic Eden and other marketplaces. So that's FireC in a nutshell. The interesting thing about our NFT marketplace is it actually functions on our own IPFS. It's called the PIPFS. What that means is Interplanetary File System. And why is it important? Because other chains use a third party for where your images and your NFTs and everything are actually located on, and then the blockchain pulls from that third party like a pinata. We actually, through our node holders, through our closed network, we have clustered together our nodes to create our own IPFS. Long story short, we have a storage. we have the thing that holds the actual ownership. So not only are you on Phoenix blockchain with your native token, Phoenix, but you also have complete ownership of that file, of that, if you're the artist. And to take it even a step farther, there's going to be watermark features in our IPFS showing is this a legitimate project that this person has created? And then ways to get rid of that watermark if you are the verified owner, etc. So taking it a little bit higher, that's the goal. And that's why FireC has been delayed, because there's just so much to wrap your head around at all times.
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to dig deep a little bit more into this FireC, but with it not really been, I mean, the concept, you've not really finished what you're doing on the drawing board. I think it won't really be a very nice idea to keep asking some kind of questions with regard to the FireC. But then
when FireC? Sir, I don't know.
All right, but then I think you also having your own, I mean, Phoenix NFTs, but having it, right? Or are we going to be depending on maybe the artist to actually come and do theirs, or we trying to create ours and then try to sell it on the FireC? Will you, Phoenix blockchain or Phoenix ecosystem, be having its own NFTs that we ourselves can actually mint or trade on the FireC?
Already available.
Already available.
Yeah, so the Diamond apps that we mentioned before, that's our staking platform. And the way it works is we have many different outlets of NFT creation. Currently, we have our duck hunt, which has different kind of rare exclusive ducks that you can, so you do a shoot command, you have bullets, it's all text-based. And every so often, there's a chance that you hit a duck. And if you hit the duck, you get a small portion of the native coin into your wallet. So Phoenix coin will go to your wallet. You'll also have a small, even tinier chance of getting a duck hunt duck. And then there's Diamond Apps, which has its own line of ducks that can be minted specifically and staked. There's an airdrop bot that we have in over 100 different Telegram groups, and very easy to register there. You just type a command, register your address. No holding of your wallet by anything. It's just a text-based, again, thing where the bot tracks your wallet address. And if as you're conversing with the community, if you happen to just randomly get one, it will send you some Phoenix or it'll send you an NFT. It has no specific words or anything that it looks for. It just has a minimum character amount, and it rewards people for conversing. Yikes. And if you wanted to see an example of that, you can just join our Telegram group, and you can see every so often it'll say Phoenix airdrop 0.017, for instance, PHX has been sent to your address. And that's just for conversing, for being active in the community. So that's in 100 different Telegram groups, and that also yields NFTs. And then you can take those NFTs and then go to the staking app, and then that will give you either Ruby, Sapphire, Diamond, and there's a fourth one I'm missing, and those have their own pairings on the DEX. So if you wanted to trade up, trade sideways, whatever, for whichever token you already have from the staking app kind of thing. So that is currently active, even though we don't have a marketplace. One of our partners, Zegex, which is the main exchange that we love to work with, they're not tracked yet on CMC and CG. Unfortunately, we've been working with those since we do our one of our main developers, Rob, he actually is a admin for CoinGecko, but the specifics, if people wonder why it takes so long for things to get listed and exchanges to be tracked, there's a mountain of things that have to be done and proved even before your exchange gets tracked. So if you're following an exchange, if you've been on an exchange, that still isn't tracked, there's a reason. There's so many different APIs that have to be correct. Your volume has to meet certain standards. You can't have what they call ghost or fake volume, just sitting there by itself. You have to have active user, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anywho, long story short, that partner, Zegex, is planning on releasing what would be basically like an auction for NFTs. So that would be the precursor to a FireSea, I would say, where users can just trade on their exchange, not only tokens, but also coins and NFTs. So
these NFTs are going to have further utilities down the line.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's interesting. All right. I had you mention Ruby. I had you mention Diamond. I had you mention Sapphire. What are they?
So these are the reward tokens for staking the ducks that you get are NFTs for the time being. Now, these can be traded for Phoenix. They will also have use cases down the line once we get our 3D game up and running.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And they're tokens on the Phoenix blockchain. So they aren't tokens that are on a different blockchain. They are specifically from our staking platform, and they are tokens that have been deployed on Phoenix blockchain.
All right. Yeah, exactly what I wanted to know. Now, I also realized it will be useful with your games, isn't it? I get that right?
That's correct. So we currently have a game where you can earn NFTs inside of Telegram. It's like a text-based game. However, and this is around the same time, once FireSea is all done and up and running, we've already started working just a little bit on a Web3 meta game in Unreal Engine. And that's going to have a lot of stuff where you can exchange these reward tokens for assets in the game, which you can use in tournaments to win even more Phoenix. That's sort of that's the long-term thing that we want these reward tokens to be used for.
And to specify a little bit more, the game will focus on the duck NFTs. So all the duck NFTs throughout our ecosystem, off of Duck Hunt, off of the airdrop bot, and then there's also the Fire Ducks collection from Diamond Apps. That's where they come from, because in our airdrop bot, we have AI-generated artwork. We have other projects that kind of put into their NFTs into the airdrop bot as almost like a form of advertising, because they will be deploying their future line or whatever. So the airdrop bot does have different ones that won't actually go into the metaverse, I guess, our duckverse. but the duck specific ones are going to be the ones that influence your character or the 3D game, I think.
All right. It's clear. Can't really tell. Okay. So these NFTs, it's going to be mintable. I mean, your NFTs, they are actually going to be mintable with only Phoenix token, or?
Yeah, that's correct. I will shoot you the link for the little minting dApp.
And they are already live. So the Fire Ducks collection is live. I think there's 20,000 unique ducks total from the Fire Ducks side. That is the only mintable line from us. There's other mintable projects like Chronic Cats. That's a partner of ours that has deployed as well on our chain. He has his version, because he's Ethereum based, but he has his project version for Phoenix that has been deployed as well. And then a couple other partners are planning on deploying as well. RY Unity is planning on creating another collection for Phoenix. There's talk about a couple other partners, yeah, but not any specifics just yet on that.
Awesome. All right. The funds that will be raising from this, because I realize that's one of the places you'll be getting some money back. As for your swap, your option, it's equivalent to you not getting anything in return from the investors. But here with this NFT minting and trading, you'll be actually getting something back. So where are you channeling those resources?
Well, a lot of that depends, right? So Chronic Cats, he is working on some like dev toolkits and stuff. So what he makes from his NFT mints, he's using to power that. We have a team wallet that some of the funds from the Ducks have gone to. We have it really depends who's launching for the project.
And on top of that, the Fire Ducks, part of that, the amount that is collected from that goes back into the liquidity for the actual pair, for the actual pairs between Sapphire and Phoenix, Diamond and Phoenix, all that stuff. So Emerald, Ruby.
All right, it's clear. I got it. Okay, with regards to your dog, is it dog war or dog fight or dog shoot? I forgot the names of those games. But let's talk about those games in details.
Yeah, sure. So duck hunting is I'll link you that also. Yeah, duck hunting is the text-based one, and the one that we're going to make later is Battle Ducks. Yeah, duck hunting is live now. If you want to hop in the Telegram and play it, it's rolling.
On your Telegram alone?
It's in the side group. I'll send it to you.
So many links.
Yeah, I mean, bring the links on. Let's share it. All of them are actually revolving around the ecosystem, so they are all very important for their own use case, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you need a general place to look at everything, kind of Phoenix, our link tree is very important. That one has basically everything: our YouTube, our socials, our main page, our white paper. Everything is on there, and it's like an internet business card for anyone that hasn't seen that before. Linktree.
Awesome. Okay, this game, I don't know. We actually have to be talking about the rewards we're getting from the game, or I also know we are getting NFTs if we shoot rare ducks, isn't it? So aside the rare ducks that we can actually get NFTs from, we also getting other stuff playing the game. And what I mean, the requirements to play this game efficiently, if you can actually run that for us.
It's a free game. You just have to register your wallet. You have a chance at hitting a duck, which will then yield the native coin. So that means that you're getting small portions of the native coin if you hit the duck. You also get something that's called in-game cash. That's just fictional, that's the fictional. So the crypto is the fictional money, but the in-game cash is not valued at anything. It just helps the bot track your performance, and then you can use that to purchase guns and upgrades for your duck hunt. There's no levels per se. Everything is equal chance for everybody to hit, to miss, to get attacked by a goose and lose your bullets. And in order to help prevent spam, for instance, if you have 7 bullets that you shoot, and then you have to buy more bullets with your in-game cash, which is not your native token, not the native Phoenix token. That's just the bot tracking the number. You're not spending anything on the blockchain. It's just a fictional number again. So you have to expend some of that to buy more bullets, reload, shoot, and then process is repeated over and over. There's a leaderboard if you want to see how many people have been at the top, how many people have shot how much in the ducks. But yeah, once you register your wallet, it will airdrop the Phoenix to your wallet. It'll airdrop the NFT to your wallet as well. And so just a comment on that, because anything that you were asking about proceeds from things. So Fire Ducks, for instance, pays for the minuscule, very tiny transaction fees for all those people getting Phoenix from the airdrop bot, from Duck Hunt, from anything else that's in our ecosystem. So we don't have people, we don't have any funding rounds, because the Phoenix is always constantly coming from one source or another to make sure that the faucet, all the different stuff is being taken care of. So our faucet is also from the liquidity that we get, kind of thing. That's on Discord. So Discord has a faucet, Telegram has an airdrop bot, Duck Hunt, and all those give you some portion of the native coin.
Awesome. So talking about the multiplayer mode, say I get disconnected, for instance, maybe you see we're fighting with Telegram, some kind of, all this while being on the VC. So let's assume I'm actually playing with somebody and something happened for a reason best known to Telegram. I got disconnected. Are we even sticking anything to play it a kind of a gamble, or we are just targeting the same how do I put it?
Yeah, so
Okay,
it's equal share for everybody. It's equal chance. Just the duck hunting is text based. It's not. You can, I guess you can consider it competitive to see. Right now, for instance, I'm looking at it. There's 9 ducks left in the chat. All 400 members that are in the chat have an option to shoot at that duck. If no one's shooting at that duck, more ducks will come to the chat. So that's the only competitive. There's nothing to risk because you're not connected to anything per se. You have just registered your wallet with the bot, and the bot tracks if you've hit a duck. Someone just hit a duck, so they earn 2 XP, which we will get back to that. We used to have a leveling system that would yield out a NFT. Instead, we've just created it so that it gives you a random chance to hit a rare duck. It gives you 50 in-game cash. Again, that's a fictional number, but that's the bot tracking it just to make sure for upgrades. And then this person, when they hit the duck, they earned 0.0019 Phoenix as well. So all that happens. There is no loss of anything if you weren't in the group anymore. Again, it's just a bot that registers your address, and then if you do the right results, if you hit the duck, it'll give you basically an airdrop.
There is a push to stay active in there, though, because the rare ducks do sometimes cycle out. So it's sort of like Beanie Babies or something, right? Like the ones that you have a chance to get. There used to be some animal-based ones. I don't think those are available anymore. Now there's the Turtles-themed ones and some Star Wars-themed ones. And so as they cycle out, so there is that push to make sure you're keeping up in there so you don't miss out.
All right. That's interesting. I mean, okay, now we've really talked a lot about a lot of your products. Now it's time for me to actually let us talk about the marketing you've got in place, because here this is a new chain to start with. Very innovative concepts, lovely ideas around it, but getting words out there to actually get people into this awesome project and enjoy what you're bringing to the crypto space needs a lot of funding and a lot of works.
So when the bridges are launched, we do have several players that are going to bridge to our token. So that's going to do some marketing on its own. We also have a few people building games that are going to allow, that are going to be powered by the Phoenix blockchain. That's going to help as well. As far as more standard forms of marketing, we do have some things in place, but before we do that, we want to make sure Fire C is done and already tested a little bit before we have the open the floodgates and have tons of people trying to use it. But we do have several partners in place for marketing. So we have a battle plan.
Awesome. All right. Very well. Okay, let's talk about the scalability of this particular blockchain. You've really put a lot of things in place, which is awesome, but you've tested it, right? So how fast is this? If you're to rate 1 to 100, score yourself.
So our blocks are 12-second blocks, and I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe we can do better than Solana because I think there's some kind of a hurdle with Solana with the way that they forked their EVM, because the scalability, the issues that they have, they shouldn't be there. I wonder if it's because of the high requirement of the 128 RAM that kind of gets, kerfuffle everything. But from our testing, we should be fine with those high peak amounts of transactions. And if not, then we also have a backup where we could just, because right now everything is CPU mining for the node holders. If we need to, we can switch it over to GPU to help with the scaling. And that wouldn't take much, because even inside the core group, we have plenty of us that could help with that. But we don't want to do that. We would prefer to keep the CPU. It's more fair. And everyone has just a one thread being used of their CPU power instead of the whole thing. So we try to keep everything equal for our node holders that do participate. If we went to GPU, I'm sure there's going to be farms that would take advantage of it, and that's why we just kind of keep it at closed network CPU based. But again, if the scalability ever does hit the issue, we have a plan for that.
That's nice. It is. Also, I mean, I'm not a blockchain dev. I'm not a developer of any kind. I don't. But I mean, listening to you, the way you explained it, I think it's work out fine. I will be opening it up to the community questions at this point, but then if you still have a couple of things you want to still touch on before we head over to the community to show them their questions, if you don't mind.
Oh man, I mean, there's a lot, so I'm not sure which direction to go. I love hearing questions. At least it gives me direction. We have a weekly podcast. We try to keep our community involved and our developers involved as well in some capacity. One of the main, I guess, side hosts is RxBBN. So he comes on and he explains things and how they work a little bit more in a fine-tuned way. For instance, today he'll be going over, if he's available, I believe he's available, but he's going to be going over FireSwap again, just so people are a little bit more familiar with it. We did go over it a little bit back, but there have been updates to the FireSwap that he wanted to talk about, and he wanted to make it a little easier for the users, because that's the whole point, right? So that's kind of where our podcast, the point of the podcast is to add a little bit more value to the project, but also explain things that might be a little too technically daunting for people, I feel. Especially in the crypto space, you have no idea. Half the time, someone told you about something, and then you're like, oh, okay, I installed Telegram. What's Telegram? Now, like, there's too many barrier to entries. I feel like our whole thing between not only the NFT marketplace, but we would like to be as open and as helping as possible, because crypto should be something that's easily accessible. That's something that your grandpa can do, and not be like, well, what am I doing? And I think Coinbase kind of is doing that, but I'd like to see it across more projects. Is this involvement, and that's the podcast. Is every Monday it's at 18 UTC, 2 p.m. Eastern, and that's going to be in a couple hours. So I'll probably need another coffee by then. Hopefully the internet works, so Spazz is not the only one on.
So this evening we'll be expecting some of your podcast. Awesome. All right. There is this question in the text chat. The guy was really curious. Let's say he purchased some of your swags in your Fire swag, and at some point he changes his mind. He was like, okay, fine, I don't think I need this anymore. If he changes his mind, is there a policy that refund him exactly the amount he put in, or he'll be charged to some extent before he get the refund? And how long is it lasting?
Now, we don't have an actual policy written yet, because we're still pretty far away from FireSwag. However, we do have everything set up so where returns are easy, returns are handled automatically. So let's say there's a 2-week window or something. As long as you do it within the 2-week window, you fill out the little form, and it's processed automatically, and you're refunded.
Awesome. Oh, that's nice. As easy as that.
Also, this is not obviously set in stone or anything, but maybe there'll be a secondary market on there for your t-shirts. Who knows? An eBay of clothing.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, guys, if you have a question, throw your hand up in the air. Let me say it that way. Throw your hand up, please, and show in your question. But before I see some hands going, let's still ask this second question. With regards to the staking pool, the NFT staking pool, he's asking if there are a minimum of NFTs it can stake, or time frame to which he must lock it up to actually be able to get them back later on, or if it's still useful. Say he staked it and he still want to use it, can he still take it and then use it and then return back whenever he feels like?
Yeah, there's no time lock for that. So if you want to just stake it for 10 minutes, you'll get 10 minutes worth of rewards. So we don't want anybody to feel like anything's locked for any amount of time.
Which is interesting again. I mean, you have should I say, you're just being selfless with the service of this particular Phoenix. And I love it.
Doing our best.
Okay. Yeah, you really doing your best. Okay, somebody else was asking, does the low gas fee in any way affect the way the project raises up their funds to push on the project? I think we've been talking about this all the while. If you still want to get a little bit of touch on that.
Yeah, so a lot of projects fall down because it seems like from day one they're trying to figure out how to monetize everything. Every little thing, they want a fee, they want a percentage. You get a lot of these devs, crypto is all they do. Everybody in our core team has a full-time job that they actually enjoy. And, we joke, so if you make X amount of dollars, it's like, well, I'd still go to work. I'd probably just go to work in a nicer car. So nobody here is really in a big rush to like, oh, how can we monetize this? How can we monetize this? It's not about that for us.
And equally, since they're asking about gas fee, since we recently forked, we do have a tiny portion of every transaction being burned. We're trying to keep the total amount of Phoenix existing in the next 50 years, for instance, under 10 million. Currently, there's about 4 million, and with the fork, each block yields only 1 Phoenix. Next fork will be half a Phoenix, and then a quarter of a Phoenix, and then we will decide. The goal is to go to POS just like Ethereum, but we'd rather Ethereum deal with the issues as they are before we make the switch, because there's going to be more. I mean, already they're having outcry and all kinds of stuff. That's yeah. Anywho, so there is a tiny portion that is burned of each transaction because we do want to keep the total supply down. We want to be basically half of Bitcoin in total supply.
Awesome. All right. The next question there is, with regards to the security of the exchanges, the exchange itself. So how secure will their exchange be? Like, how secured will the Fire swap and the blockchain itself, if you can actually run them down on? And do you even have a kind of audit certification with regards to your blockchain? Has it really been kind of looked into by some experts that do that?
Yeah, so our senior dev was actually that was his specialty. That was what he did as his day job. Like IT security. He's doing it for decades, so he's good. Also, inside of our core group, we have an auditing team, and they're always trying to break it. We let them play with it and make sure it's like completely secure before we even go into like our pre-alpha testing. So we have we already have not only do we have a veteran who is our senior dev, we also have a complete team that helps us out with security as well.
Okay. All right. So I don't know, is it documented yet, or he just did it on his own? This sometimes it's awesome. I mean, it provides a little bit of further security and peace of mind when community can actually see some kind of things written down, like they're looking at it right in front of them, rather than just a word of mouth, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, so Fire Swap, our lead dev, RXB, he has his GitHub. I believe that's out. He's been posting that in the community for others to take a look at. But the actual chain is still functioning as a closed network, because that's how our node holders function, is through a closed network. That isn't open just yet. Our plan is to have it completely open, but we aren't there just yet where we would show because then people can just come in and mine because they have all the information kind of thing. So that still is in a closed network kind of ecosystem. So there's a plan. That's why we have the foundation, because we do want the foundation, which is a non-for-profit organization. We want that to be more oversight on the chain rather than, obviously just us working on it and making sure everything is good and out of beta. So plan for that, not just yet. It's not open source just yet. But if it does go open source, it would be the same thing as Solana or Ethereum, where you could just go and create your own node via your computer kind of thing. So yeah, not there yet.
Okay, let's say he's kind of curious if you're having some further partnerships in plans with some blockchain experts to kind of further assist you with finalizing these jobs, the Phoenix blockchain itself.
Yeah, it sort of goes back into the previous question. We have several people that are blockchain devs. They have been doing this stuff for ages. So we've got all the talent. The way our teams assembled together, we have basically every niche you could want. We've got an expert for it.
And I think Fluffy, which is our CEO, he said this multiple times in different capacities. So I think I could just reiterate it. And if not, then Rob will just punish me later with a laptop to me. The running joke was always he throws laptops when he gets mad at us. So we do have a partnership or I guess they're ready whenever everything is a little bit closer to, like our GPHX, once that's finished, once our IPFS is a little bit closer to completion and FireC, we are in talks with Hit Network, which is a management company that deals with Big Boy. So I think that's all I can say.
All right. Okay. Trying to finalize this to kind of wrap it up. If you still have further information you still want to provide with regards to some things we did not really touch on, you can please go ahead. But in the absence of such, we can actually be rounding things up because I think I've exhausted all the questions I've got for this.
Yeah, I guess for me, the last thing I just want to say, and I'm sure Spazz has something as well. So we had a dev bounty before. We're planning on doing another dev bounty. What that means is if you're a developer or a creator, if your project isn't more than just deploying a token, if you're coming to our chain, we'll be having a contest for best deployed project. The previous winner was the free token locker on our chain, and we look for any creative minds. I think that person or that team, rather, they won about 2,000 PHX for that. I'll work on the specifics for the new dev bounty, but always looking for more intelligent minds to come on, more community members that are willing to build and if you have something really great and you've been stuck with Ethereum fees, come on over. We're looking for people just like you, or teams just like you.
Yeah, 100%. And if there's anything, if you want to be able to meet a little bit more of the team, like Hypers has said, just hop into our main Telegram. We've got a show in a couple hours.
In a couple of hours. All right, that's nice. Okay, I think at this point we'll be bringing this session to an end. Am I going to take the few words you dropped earlier on to be your closing statements, or you still have a lot of things to say?
Enjoy the crypto world and be careful out there.
Yeah.
Work together, not against each other. Don't try to nickel and dime each other. We gotta stop doing that, man.
100%. What's your closing statement? I don't know. If an attractive woman reaches out to you on Telegram, don't trust him.
Don't trust him. Yeah, exactly.
All right. It's been a very interesting session so far, and I really enjoyed your companies, Spazz and Hyperion. Obviously, this is going to be one of the best things out there, not just for this year or next year, probably on the long run. Yeah, but then one thing I must tell you is that I, for one, will actually be with you for this while in your Telegram group, trying to understand more of the project, trying to get where all the things are really headed, and then time my entry into this awesome innovation to actually be able to scratch to see how it goes towards the end. But before then, thank you very much for your time, and with this we say goodbye.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
My brother, you're awesome.